All right, guys, we are here for a very special matinee edition of the Randomizer Show. I have a guest I've been trying to get on for a long time. We finally got the schedules to align. It is, of course, ESPN's Bill Barnwell. You guys know him as a football writer, as a thought leader, but you might not know him as a low-key best ball grinder. And today we're going to throw at him something he normally doesn't experience in these puppy draft rooms. It is, of course, a battle with the randomizer wheel. Let's do it here after the jump.
He's the worst host I've ever seen in my life.
Tell me what to start typing. That's not low-key thick. That's high-key thick. Matthew Berry's 101 is Logan Thomas. Wow. You're in post-production on a character named Montgomery Rush. David Montgomery, the Rusher?
Why the fuck did you do that?
Are you a Jimmy G girl?
Yes!
Bill Barnwell, welcome to the Randomizer stream.
Oh man, so much to live up to after seeing that intro. I don't even have an IMDb page. This is terrible.
I know. I generally try to keep the guests to the Hollywood elite. I am making an exception. You are a coastal elite, though, right?
Oh, of course I am. I've lived only outside of Las Vegas, which is the fake sharp coastal elite. I've lived on the coast my entire life, so I'm fine.
I think that was when I first heard your name, was when you were doing that series for Grantland from Vegas. And I thought the premise was so cool. That was like, as someone who was at the time an aspiring journalist, I was like, man, that's the dream gig. Move to Vegas and just get to write about your gambling exploits.
I like the characterization of your work and my work as journalism.
Yeah.
Here, me trying to trick my boss at the time into going to Vegas by thinking, what would he have said if he was offered the opportunity to do whatever he wanted at 27? He would have moved to Vegas. That's what I'm going to do. And now, of course, you, fine journalist.
Don't try to lump yourself in with me as being so distanced from actual journalism. You actually write, 3,000 word columns. I just dick around on the internet all day and sell dog toys.
I aspire to be a dog toy seller. I just don't have the confidence to sell dog toys on a high level the way you do.
Yo, you need to get into those influencer streets. I think that's what we need to happen. You have to get approached. I see Field, I see Mina, they're doing the hashtag Instagram ads. Where's the Barnwell promotion?
That's a great question. That's what I wonder about every night as I sleep on a bed that I paid for, whereas Mina Kimes, Field Yates, just stacking up mattress after mattress. They just burn them every day because they have so many to work with that they've gotten for free over the years.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I mentioned it at the top of the show. I occasionally on your Twitter feed, we'll see a screenshot of Bill playing on Underdog or a little comment about best ball. Tell the people, is this your big coming out party that you are actually a big best ball grinder?
Yes, I'm here to reveal finally to the watching public that I've actually quit ESPN. I'm no longer writing. I am just grinding the puppy and the puppy to $5 at a time. And if I don't win both of these tournaments, it's going to be negative EV for me. So I really need to win at least one, hopefully both of the puppies.
There you go. So it might come up. Do you like staying anonymous on Underdog? Because people were asking me to dox you, and I didn't feel comfortable before I got your permission.
I don't like my username is the problem. If it were a better username, I wouldn't care, but I'm embarrassed about my username, which is my concern.
So I have gone through something similar with DraftKings where I hated my username and they refused to let me change it. I did try to public, shaming them. It didn't work. However, I feel like the good people over at Underdog might be less of a bully DraftKings. I bet we can make this happen for you, Bill.
Okay. In that case, if you think it's possible, I'm willing to reveal my Underdog handle.
Let's save it because I believe there's a prompt that might include that. But Beautiful. Josh is already working to change it to mattress influencer, Bill.
I'm happy we have Josh on the inside doing our dirty work here.
That's right. All right. We are going to get underway with the draft. We have a few more spots available. I shared it in the randomizer Discord first. I'm just posting it in the chat as well. If you guys want to come draft with me and Bill as we battle the randomizer wheel. These are extremely plus EV drafts because we're going to end up doing some funky stuff.
I don't know. I mean, last year I saw that Matthew Berry, my colleague, took Logan Thomas from the 1-1. That was a plus EV move relative to the typical 1-1, no?
Yeah, I mean, it was an alpha leak too. I mean, that was still right before the season had started. We were getting positive training camp reports about Logan Thomas, but I mean, he maybe wasn't a high win rate guy if you took him at 101, but I mean, he delivered.
I haven't checked RotoViz for the Logan Thomas 101 results yet. I think that's a good build personally, but I haven't seen the data on that site yet.
Yes. What are your highest exposures so far this season here?
Oh boy. Joe Burrow for sure. Thinking about guys who I'm already regretting having drafted. I had a bunch of Cam Akers, which I was super thrilled about. That has not turned out super well. Pretty much every one of my 0 running back teams have Michael Thomas in there one way or another. So 0 for 3 on those guys. I would say if I had to guess what my biggest exposure is, it's probably Tyler Boyd.
Okay, say we are in lockstep. I think he's my 3rd highest owned guy. Give
really?
some Tyler Boyd propaganda as we kick off this draft.
Tyler Boyd propaganda. I'm sure you've had guests on who have talked about how the concentrated attack of the Cincinnati Bengals is going to focus on their top 3 receivers, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. You figure they're going to be in a ton of 11 personnel. They're probably going to be a bad football team, so they're probably going to be throwing quite a bit. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for volume. And I think that I'm always a little skeptical of rookie receivers. I think Tyler Boyd is in a great spot, being drafted like 30 picks after T. Higgins and after Jamar Chase. So to me, I think an underrated player, someone who always seems to be on the board in the 75-80 range for me. And when, of course, Laviska Shenault has been moved up the boards now, harder to get in that range, I've taken Tyler Boyd instead.
Wow, you're coming in here just pandering right out of the gate. We got Boyd and Viska, music to my ears. So, Bill, we did draw the 2 spot, which means we're going to have to get right to it right now with our first prompt for the 102.
I hate the 102, by the way. One of my least favorite
spots.
spots.
I know. It's like, oh, fine, Dalvin, I'll take you. Okay. Do you have a piece of paper by you to draw a player that you want to take?
Oh no, I'm going to be so bad at this. I'll get one. I'll be right back.
Okay, go. Yeah, you be right back. DJ, if you're watching, if you would mind using your full pick clock to select McCaffrey, that would be good. The thing is Bill is worried about his drawing. I have done some truly atrocious drawings on this show. I mean, don't feel bad. I tried to draw a helicopter with Ian Hartitz. This was a helicopter I drew. You can't do worse than that.
Oh, I can.
Okay, let me see it. And now I'm actually really curious because I know who ADP is, but you just said you hate 102, which means you might get funky with it.
On top of that, I have to figure out who I can actually draw who might look vaguely like himself and not make it a really embarrassing caricature.
We got 20 seconds.
Okay. Bad news. I overestimated my ability at drawing. This is going to be on the back of an envelope.
Oh, that's Alvin Kamara.
That is Alvin Kamara.
Look at that. Okay, we're on. Hey, guy, could you show that again? That was actually pretty good. I love it.
I've done worse. I'm going to say that much. I'm happy that it was not embarrassing. If I had to draw Christian McCaffrey, if we had the 101, there is no way I could draw Christian McCaffrey.
I don't know what you do for McCaffrey because like Derrick Henry, you could do the big dog or like King Henry, a crown. I think I would have gotten Dalvin Cook. People were saying the chef's hat would have been good.
If it was Derrick Henry, I just would have drawn Adam Levitan crying as he is just losing money on not having Derrick Henry week after week.
Yeah, so it sounds like do you fade Derrick Henry in these drafts normally?
I am absolutely fading Derrick Henry this year, especially because of the workload. I know there's been some research that's been questionable. Like, there's no number, I would say, at that point you fade Derrick Henry, but just the history of guys with this sort of workload is just so flimsy and so thin in terms of pulling it off year after year. And then on top of that, you have Julio Jones coming in. You figure it's a more pass-happy attack. Todd Downing, their new OC, not someone I've really loved during his time with the Raiders. So I think Derrick Henry is someone where at some point I'm taking him, but I would take Kelsey over him. I'd probably take Devontae Adams at this point over him. I would drop him down to the bottom half of the first round for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have like 5% Derrick Henry from what you just, there's only so many weeks that I can watch, Derrick Henry body bag me with an 80-yard touchdown and have zero exposure of him. I do think he is a bad pick where he's going, but we do see in this playoff structure, like if he has that 200-yard, 2 TD game, he might be the guy on your team that you need to advance. So I don't mind sprinkling him in, but yes, I never feel good taking Derrick Henry.
Do they play the Jaguars during the fantasy playoffs?
You know what? I know they play San
14.
Francisco
Week
as
14.
well.
They get San Francisco, they get Miami in week 17. So yes, absolutely. Week 14, I'm going to have like 10 teams in fantasy playoffs, and I'm going to have Derrick Henry on none of them, and Derrick Henry's going to run for 200 yards, and all my teams will get eliminated.
There you go. Nice. Also, is this your first? This is my first time seeing this little face left in the live draft applet. Are you noticing this little? It looks fresh.
Is that? I noticed that Underdog, the wonderful Underdog website, just added the wide receiver, running back, quarterback, and tight end numbers. To the applet. How do you feel about that?
I like it. And my main thing I like seeing is because I don't want to be required to do math to know what overall pick it is. And so now adding the overall pick has been a huge godsend to me. Going 12 times 12 is 144 plus 2 is 1. I can't do that anymore, Bill.
I'm mad because I spent all that time learning my 12 times table over the past few weeks for absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Yes, they are really making it easy for us to do no work whatsoever. Hyper efficient ADPs, all the numbers, all the grids, and you just press the buttons.
Okay. Bill comes up with
a
cryptic wide receiver tweet.
Bill comes up with a cryptic wide receiver tweet that Pete must send out. If not, you must draft Michael Thomas or Dez Bryant. I'm sure you're familiar with this genre of tweet.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins or preferably not Cole Beasley. And you're going to tell me the words, and I'm literally going to send whatever you say.
Okay. Oh, boy. Do you want it to be based on any particular player? Do you want to lean it towards any particular player's history and track record?
No. And I would say let's do POV, like point of view. I'm the player. So It doesn't even have to reference the player necessarily.
I would say only real ones know what I've been through.
Okay.
And I'm through with the fake ones. I think the ampersand really does it. Actually,
I think like a couple spaces there for dramatic effect is good too.
Yes. If I know we don't have time, if you could have done it in like a weird like not notes app looking notes app thing, that would have added to it for me. But weird font is great. How do you feel about the new Twitter font?
I don't mind it.
You have no opinion on it?
I have no opinion on it. Okay, well, that's a little too weird. Oh, no, here we go.
Have you've used this weird text generator before?
I haven't. I literally just Googled it right now. I'm trying to find something good, though. Some of these are real funky.
I feel like even Cam would.
What about like this?
That works for me.
I mean, it's kind of, let's see if this works. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes.
Only real ones know what I've been through, and I'm through with the, do you like the, I'm going to spell out with, I want it to look more. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Beautiful.
I feel this is a tweet so far outside of my voice that I actually love how it looks on this feed. So thank you. Please smash the like. And do know I am done with all you fake ones out there.
You should be. Like, nobody wants to not be through with the fake ones. We're on the clock, by the way.
We are. You have earned with that suggestion to pick whoever you want.
Oh, boy.
Who do you like?
I'm a big CEH guy this year. I know it's ahead of ADP, but I'm also a big tight end early guy.
Yeah, so pick.
Kittle.
1 second.
Kittle.
Sorry, no.
CEH.
Okay, we might still be able to get Kittle, although
CEH
the wheel
is fine. I love CEH this year. I think just the perfect opportunity. Everything that was right for him last year is right for him this year, and the offensive line is much healthier. I'm inclined to think he has a big season.
Okay, A fellow Northeastern alum here wants you to name 3 sandwiches from Chicken Lou's menu or draft a player who went to a Boston area school. You're going to have to enlighten us. What is Chicken Lou's?
Chicken Lou's is like the greasy, or was just closed, the greasy spoon place that every college campus has.
Okay.
Just like it was basically a diner that just served fried food. 3 sandwiches.
Okay. Yes.
I always got the spicy nuggets, so this is going to be tough for me.
Ooh.
The number 1, there aren't all numbers. That's not cheating. There was a number 1. That was like a Chick-fil-A sandwich, kind of. I would say the blue and the cholesterol.
Okay.
Can we confirm this somehow?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up the menu here real quick. Oh, is this a Chicken Lou's forever in our hearts?
Yeah, this is what happened. It closed. So we're fully into like the farewells and the sad stuff now about Chicken Lou's.
I mean, I'm not. Who am I to argue with your stuff? I mean, I think you get to draft whoever you want. Do you want Waller?
He's hurt. Let's go Waller and just assume that he's healthy.
Okay. Do you have any inside information? I'm sick of this injury being undisclosed. What is he dealing with?
The only history or only injury information I have is just having been on Roto World or NBC Sports Edge, for 15 years. I know that whenever I've read reports in the past that are like, oh, this guy has an undisclosed injury and it's out for a week and a half, that never ends well. There's never oh, he was fine this whole time, by the way. Something bad has happened. So I'm always very nervous when I see stuff like that.
Yeah, these undisclosed and prolonged injury absences are starting to worry me. Will Fuller as well. His isn't undisclosed, I don't think, but just hasn't practiced for a while and suspended week 1. So yeah, it's we're starting to get to that point where it's like I wanted to be, oh, we just ignore these reports, it's fine. But in a couple of weeks, the red flags can start to be raised. See,
I was really excited about Will Fuller because on DraftKings, I think it was on DraftKings, he was the only person on the wide receiver rankings who was out week 1. And I felt like that little out indicator when he was the only one was worth 10 spots of ADP.
Yeah.
But now it's changed.
It is. Yeah. There is just that psychological bias, even with the DFS stuff. When you see the questionable tag or whatever next to those guys, they don't seem as attractive.
Now, can I ask an aside here? I want to point out that we have been in several drafts together on Underdog so far this year already.
And I wasn't aware of it until I pried your username out of me and I was like, oh, I do recognize you.
And twice I drafted directly before you. I drafted most recently, I was the 11 and you were the 12-13. And I specifically chose a running back at 11 thinking, I picked a wide receiver at 11 thinking, oh, you won't go running back at 12-13. And you did.
Oh my God. Now you're exposing me as a fraud.
A man who just loves running backs.
You didn't see the video, right? Uncle Sam is
I saw that video.
Yes. And so I'm heeding the call.
I didn't know you were I thought you were asking other people to heed the call so you could benefit from drafting wide receivers. But I appreciate that you're sticking with your Uncle Sam character and drafting running backs.
I got to lead by example. I have to set a good example. Now, as long as we're kind of doxing decisions, can I talk about your Raiders backfield double stack, Bill?
So mad at myself. I honestly, I threw my phone down on the couch. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was, once I knew his username, I saw that we were in a draft together. I was next up. We were right next to each other. I saw you had just taken Kenyon Drake a few picks past ADP. I was like, oh, I'll see what kind of construction, maybe a 0 RB build. The other running back he had took was Josh Jacobs. I was like, oh, Bill Barnwell's cornering the market. He's a handcuff, bro. But it sounds like you got timed out.
No, I didn't get timed out. I just picked the wrong person. And I've taken Josh Jacobs so infrequently that I don't even bother to look to see if I've taken Josh Jacobs to begin with. I'm just like, well, this is a good spot for Kenyon Drake, 6 picks after ADP. I like him this year. So clearly this is a good pick. And then I picked him and then I checked again and I realized I had Josh Jacobs and I was very mad at myself.
I had a similar thing. I was showing Matt Caban from RotoViz or Dave Caban from RotoViz, the Underdog app and how you could swipe to draft. And I accidentally took as my example, James Conner when I already had Chase Edmonds. So I've been there. I know how it goes. Okay.
Why?
To draft the best player available, Pete and Bill must research and discuss famous barns and famous wells from around the world, the physical structures, not players with those in their names. Do you have any favorite barns?
I went to the Barn House at Yardbird Restaurant recently. That was something I can think of. I don't think that's particularly famous though. Wells, I would say Pete Wells, the reporter for the New York Times, the food reporter for the Times, is one of my favorite writers. But that's not an actual well. I have never heard of any of these barns. Have you?
No, but some of these look like some really nice barns.
These look exclusively like places where people get married that don't actually have any horses anymore.
Yeah, this is like Club Med for horses. I mean, this is incredible. Let me see. World famous wells. Any wells come to mind here?
I don't think I've actually been to a well. What does Gus's Fried Chicken have to do with the world famous wells?
I just wrote world famous, and it didn't. The 7 most beautiful step wells one must see before they disappear. Okay.
Wait, so can we go back to that headline for a second? Does that mean step wells one must see before the wells disappear, or one must see before the person disappears? Because it seems to be deliberately vague.
I do think it's kind of an existential title and just kind of acknowledging that the world. Okay, we are on the clock. I feel like we did some decent research.
We failed though.
Who do you? What was the punishment if we failed?
There was no punishment. What is the default punishment on the?
It's normally like take Zach Ertz or something like that.
So that's what we got to do. Zach Ertz.
Okay. God, no, dude, I didn't get it in time. Did I get it?
Oh, J.K. Dobbins? That's a worse punishment than taking Zach Ertz.
I auto drafted us a hyper fragile team.
Yeah, so now this is the one hyper fragile team that I have in my portfolio.
I'll do my requisite penalty shot, afternoon penalty shot.
Thank you. We did get J.K. Dobbins 13 picks after ADP.
That's what happens in these rooms. They don't listen to Uncle Sam. They draft receivers.
Shameful.
I will also mention, check out this organic product placement. I am taking this shot out of my randomizer merch box glass, which Bill is now an influencer for randomizer merch boxes here.
That's true.
And we also have, I'm doing a flash sale until the end of this show. You can use promo code bestballbill and get $15 off. The link is down below. That's not a joke. You can actually get $15 off if you get your randomizer merch box. Shit, I forgot to spin. This is going to be a double shot. I forgot we were on the turn. God damn it, Bill.
You did this with Field too.
I do it with everybody. We got 17 seconds to do this.
Randomizer.
Bill, do you identify more as a best ball bro, a best ball tout, a best ball Mensa guru, or a best ball noob? And then we're going to make the pick with that persona. Who do you identify as?
Best ball noob. So we're taking Cam Akers.
Oh, God. Okay. I think we did get that one in.
There we go.
No.
We took the worst possible alternative to Cam Akers.
Hey, Josh Norris, I need you to go to the tape. I need you to go to the devs. I clearly got the Akers pick in time. Oh my God.
Insulting.
That is brutal.
I don't the exact opposite of Cam Akers.
All right. I'm going to cheers.
I'm going to pour a shot of Diet Pepsi into this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait for you. I got, of course, Los Dos Tequila. I actually feel comfortable drinking this in the afternoon because it's so smooth and I don't think it's going to wreck me tonight.
Well, now that you're a professional randomizer and influencer, you can drink whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. I have no job and I just get to sit around drinking and drafting all day.
Isn't it great? Like to this day, like I've been professional now, working from home for 13 years. And like once a week, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I don't have to go into an office. This is incredible.
Yeah. All right. Cheers here.
As someone who was commuting to South Station and walking home at like midnight, making $12 an hour in a call center for the first 2 years of my career, it is very exciting to be a football person.
It is good. And what are you working on right now? What stuff is gearing up for you? Obviously, you got the podcast you're doing, but I'm sure this is a busy time of year for you.
Sure. I just got engaged, so I am planning a wedding.
Ooh, congrats.
Thank you. I am working on that. I have two kind of regular columns for me. Columns, most likely teams to improve, most likely teams to decline coming up the next 2 weeks over on ESPN. And then a bunch of random podcasts.
Nice. What can we get a little spoiler from the most likely to improve team?
Can you give me, who do you think is the most likely team to improve this year?
Okay. I will say, I think the Jets are going to be a lot better. I'm a believer in Zach Wilson. I think they could be like a middle of the road team. I'm not saying like playoff team, but I think they can be much better than last year.
I will say the Jets are on neither of those lists.
Okay, so they're a neutral team for you.
They're a neutral team for me. I don't know what to think about Zach Wilson. Like I think he is a good quarterback, but I also could see him like going on the subway in New York and getting lost and then like disappearing for 2 weeks. So I think that's within the range of possibilities for him.
The chat, I'm seeing a couple Jags, similar thesis of getting a big upgrade at quarterback there. What do you think on the Jags?
That is cheating. I wrote a column last week for ESPN where I said the Jags were the most likely team in the NFL to go from worst to first. I do have, when I was in Vegas, I did bet some Jags futures in the division at like 10-1, I think. Okay. So I do feel like the Jags are going to improve this year. I think they're number like 1 or 2 on my list.
Yeah, and the Trevor Lawrence training camp reports sound incredible. All right, Willis wants you to say 5 nice things about Dave Gettleman if he cannot draft Mitch Trubisky or Mike Glennon. I mean, we really need you to do this here.
I would want to draft Mitch Trubisky or Mike Glennon, so this is there's no real downside from here. Okay, he's a cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. Super, impressed. Good for him. Obviously happy he's doing well. Great at pantomiming typing. The Odell Beckham trade, he won it by accident almost. So that's pretty good. He won a trade. Oh boy, those were the 3 I had really quickly.
You don't have anything nice to say about Kadarius Toney?
I've taken a lot of Kadarius Toney at like 210 because no one else takes him, and I'm like, that's a first round pick. He might be okay. Oh,
in dynasty drafts?
Yeah. Oh boy, 3.
You're struggling. You're staring down the barrel of Mitch Trubisky right now.
He has added a bunch of weapons for Daniel Jones. Variety of options.
Can you get one more? You're scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
How much time do I have?
You have about a minute, depending on how fast everyone goes here. We're up in 2.5 picks.
That might be it. That's 4.
Okay. All right. I think we're going to have to head to Mitch Trubisky. This is the task that you were handed, and you couldn't come up with 5 things. That's what Dave Gettleman has done to us.
I have 4. Okay, wait. We got to pick between Mitch Trubisky and Mike Glennon.
We do.
Who do you think?
I mean, it has to be Trubisky, right?
We don't have a quarterback, so we need a quarterback either way. So no real downside here. Mitch has more upside because he plays on the Bills. They have more to work with. Mike Glennon has a better chance of playing. So are we optimizing for the floor or the ceiling here?
Always ceiling. I mean, I guess this is a 12-team self-contained league, but I mean, we got to shoot for the moon.
Mitch is being drafted enough to have an ADP.
I mean, I think the Galaxy brainers are out there. If Josh Allen goes down, he takes the keys of a pretty nice offense.
Do we know if Mitch is vaccinated?
We do not. But that is actually, if Josh Allen refuses to get vaccinated and gets COVID, I mean, Mitch is the man here.
Okay, let's go Mitch.
Okay, I'm going to let that time out. We're going to have our next pick here. You must draft a player you bet on while living in Vegas back in the day. Did you do any individual prop bets then, or was it all mostly like spreads and win total type stuff?
I don't think there were many prop bets. There was like MVP. Oh, I think MVP was even allowed back then because they hadn't
really
passed legislation. This might not be an option. I might have to go Mike Glennon as the alternative here.
Oh, no. What were tell the people some of your I forget what were some of your big wins. Maybe we could do someone from that team or in that genre.
Yeah, I don't live in Vegas anymore. That's probably I should tell you that there weren't a lot of big wins while I was there. I bet on the Falcons to win the Super Bowl at like 45-1. They made it to the conference championship game, but they did not win in the long run. I got the hedge, I guess.
I was going to ask if you hedged out of that at all.
Yeah, I anytime I have a future, that's exciting. I hedge. I'm a total baby when it comes to futures. I bet on the Niners to beat the Saints outright in that playoff game that was crazy, where Alex Smith had like a 30-yard naked bootleg for a touchdown, but Alex Smith is probably not in the player pool because he's retired.
He is. Au contraire, Bill Barnwell.
He is.
We're taking him. Let's give Alex Smith an ADP. That is what we are here. Someone took him at pick 74, and I don't even think that was a randomizer draft. So I don't know who did that. Or no, I'm an idiot. We took him at pick 74. I thought that was the ADP for a second.
My colleague at ESPN, Alex Smith, now, as it turns out. So we have classic 2-4-0-1 build after 7 rounds. We're going to bump up the win expectancy for this construction.
Yeah, I mean, this is we watched the Uncle Sam video. We are not supposed to draft wide receivers. We're supposed to, lock up every other position. And we are keeping track of all the teams this year for the randomizer draft. Mm-hmm. And I will say, Bill, of everyone, like a lot of people come in here, they're very excited to make the best possible team. You've been just completely willing to kamikaze sink this team right out of the gate. And I respect that. We have 4 elite running backs with our first 4 picks. To me, I think that it opens up the range of possibilities, right? Hey, I might have the opportunity to draft 10 wide receivers at some point. So I'm comfortable waiting on wideouts for the final 10 rounds of this draft if we have to. Okay. I like that.
We have elite tight ends.
We do. Who might just never practice or play again because of an undisclosed injury, but we do have him on our roster.
That's fine. I mean, I drafted plenty of George Kittle last year. It was basically the same thing. So that's not really that big of a difference.
So you mentioned I was wrong on Jets. Jags was too easy. Mm-hmm. I want to think of another team that could land on your list.
For improvement.
I'm going to throw out 2 other teams.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Panthers and the Colts.
Neither of those teams are on the list. The Colts, I don't know if you know this about the Colts. They don't have a quarterback right now.
No, you're not reading the news. Wentz is going to be back week 1 now, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. Like, I hope that it works out that way. The good news is if Carson Wentz is back by week 1, there's no chance he'll get hurt again. Carson Wentz has no history of suffering multiple injuries in the same season. So
I can't believe you're bearish on the Colts. I wanted you to be hype on the Colts with me.
But the Colts are in the way of the Jags. Like, I'm all in on the Jags improvements. So I don't want anything else getting in the way.
So you like to correlate your predictions. You don't want to have, a mixed bag where it's like when you go and you bet on like a few different things in a game. Like you don't want to bet the no score in the first 6 minutes if you have the over in the game. And you do that with your predictions is what you're saying.
Yes. I understand that you are a cash game bro.
No. Only for 1 week.
I know, but that was the last week of the NFL regular season. So
true.
That is the most recent data point I have is that you're a cash game bro.
You're right. I need to get my GPP bro card back.
How long ago does that feel? Like you did not
a long time ago.
I don't think you had any NFTs at that point. I did not. You did not own at least a fractional share of a punk at that point.
I did not. A lot has changed. Also, a lot is about to change between you and Mina's relationship. They want you to at Mina and say, Carol was right to have Russ throw in the Super Bowl. Lynch was going to get stuffed. If he tweets, pick anyone. If he refuses, take the last Seattle running back on the board.
This is a blessing. I don't see what the problem. Can you put it up again, please? I need to have the actual wording.
Yes, I got you. Here we go. Carol was right to have Russ throw in the Super Bowl. Lynch was going to get stuffed.
I think I put this in my actual column the day after the Super Bowl. So.
Did you?
Yes.
So it's just an evergreen comment here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just me repeating my content, which is even better for me. Okay, so it's out there.
It's out there. All right, guys, I need the like brigade to head out here and support this tweet. Bill, are you on the Levitan school of never changing your profile picture?
Never.
Okay.
I think I've changed it once in a decade. Honestly, I'm always looking for a reason to get off Twitter, and changing photos and whatnot just makes it more likely I'll be on Twitter.
Okay. So you mentioned NFTs earlier. Have you dabbled at all in anything within this realm?
Oh, unfortunately, I have. I do have a number of Top Shots, certainly still. They'll go up in value again. I feel pretty confident.
Okay, we'll get back to the NFTs. Who do you want? You earned it writing at Mina here.
We should take a wide receiver at this point, probably.
I think that's probably prudent.
Who do you think is the appropriate wide receiver to take. You're a big Jets fan, so maybe
I
we
would
should
take Elijah Moore, but he got hurt in practice this morning.
He's probably fine.
Okay. This team's already dead, so why not?
What are you talking about? This team, I guarantee this team will outscore some of the actual teams I drafted on purpose.
Let's see here.
This would be like a 6th percentile team for me.
Ooh, this is fun. I think Josh sent this one in. Bill must create a new statistic and explain why his next selection is great because of it.
Okay, so let's create a stat. Well, what should we start with? Let's improve air yards, right? I mean, there's so many air yards bums who, get 60-yard throws and they're not close to being completed. So let's multiply air yards by completion percentage over expected. And let's get a guy who gets actual meaningful air yards. Who would that guy be?
I was hoping you were going to say we could like salmonella adjust it and draft Denzel Mims, but let's see. Air yards here. Henry Ruggs, how are his air yards?
He had a couple deep throws. I would say Rashad Penny is like the king of deep throws, though.
True.
So I would go Rashad.
Let's do it.
Who I also like is invariably available to me with the 200th pick in every single draft I do, and I have to avoid taking him every single time.
There's that point in your underdog drafts where you load up the app and you see a few names, and it's Devin Singletary, it's Brashad Perryman, and you just say, I was having so much fun until I was on the clock in the 15th round. Why do I have to look at this?
Okay, so I asked you this before we went on the air, and I want to ask you again a different way.
Yes.
What is, when you have opened the Underdog app,
yes,
and you've seen the active button with a number next to it,
yes,
what is the largest number you have seen so far this offseason?
I do not think I've cracked 30. I think I've seen 27 is the highest I know for a fact.
I was going to say 26 for me, I believe. I went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I just signed up for a ton of drafts before I left. Because you can't open a new draft in Vegas, but you can draft. So I think I woke up one morning with 26 picks to make.
So it's funny you say that because I'm in that exact same boat. I didn't load up on them because I was going to Vegas. I loaded up on them because the puppy was filling, which we literally just got breaking news. It has filled here.
Wow.
But I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend, and I am terrified about timing out or being really drunk and finding, I think I'm going to pass that number this weekend is what I'm saying. I'm going to soar over the 30 on the clock, and it is going to overwhelm me because when I'm done with this, like when I have 15, I go out on my porch, I sit back, I take 20 minutes, I go through my stuff, I get my stacks, I get my correlations, we're good to go. But when I'm in Vegas, Bill, I'm going to be punting it off.
You should. I mean, and that, like, honestly, like if you were drafting well in Vegas, that would be, I think, a sign that you are passing off your drafts to other people.
I do. I need a stable boy. I need a best ball stable boy who can draft, but I need him to understand the structures I have already built. As we talk about improv, I need a yes and mentality to my stable boy. He sees what I'm trying to do. I need another me.
You need to tag in a partner for the second beat of your drafts, and that's fine. That's totally reasonable.
I can't tell if Josh is sincerely asking this question or if he's just pushing this from Big Underdog as a promo for the 3-man drafts. But has Bill played in any 3-man drafts?
I have not. I'm willing to if someone's willing to stake me on like $109 3-man draft. I will give it a shot. I feel like the chances that I will do a 3-man draft and Justin Herzig will be one of the other two are like 95%. So I haven't bothered to click through yet.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too fun. We'll do some private 3-man drafts.
Yeah, thank you. Bill must tweet. All right.
Oh, no, they're coming after you. Willis wants you to tweet. Bill must tweet that the Seahawks are not very good and will finish last in the NFC West if he doesn't draft Daz Newsome.
This is the same guy who asked me to tweet about the Seahawks to Mina.
It's Will. Yeah, if you want to gnaw wave this, I understand. I mean, Daz Newsome, I've been sprinkling him in Justin Fields builds.
Yeah, I'm going to go Daz on that one. I feel like I took a lot of Anthony Miller with Justin Fields builds. That was a big old waste of time. I've moved on to like Marquise Goodwin. I think I have like a couple of Jameer Birds, but getting a Daz in there, I'm all for it.
How is this going? Okay, with me, Mina has not seen this yet. I don't think Willis is retweeting. You'll see if you'll come out. You haven't gotten the dreaded Evan Silva "Are you okay yet?" Post.
Awesome.
All right, we'll spin here for the turn. I'm getting better. I'm now learning that we pick 2 picks after each of these picks here.
That's fine. I would have loved the 6. You must convince. Oh boy.
You must convince Pete that punting on 4th down is the best thing to do analytically. If Pete isn't convinced, draft Davis Mills. Oh my God. He would look great in our quarterback room.
We do need a QB3. I think we're going for a 3 QB build here. So punting on 4th down is best because chances are your opponent is your fantasy opponent here, the person you're playing in those cash games, is going to have somebody on the other team. Never, in reality, does a player on your team benefit from good field position, from a quick turnaround. It's always the other team and the other team's players who happen to get 5 short fields and score a bunch of short touchdowns because of it. So punting, playing the field position game, keeping the scores low, reducing the variance because you're such a good cash game player, instead of winning 52% of the time, you're going to win 53% of the time.
Okay. So what you're saying is that if you think you are a favorite, it makes sense to play conservatively because you're going to be able to realize your edges in less risky scenarios.
Exactly. You're playing for volume. You're the smart one. You went out and looked at the depth charts. You know who's going to be playing. Your opponent probably just threw a bunch of people in drunk Sunday morning. So I think it's smart of you to go out and try and reduce the variance, reduce the possessions, short a game as possible, and you're going to be getting that running back 3 who wasn't supposed to be playing, but you grinded the beat reporters, you grinded Twitter, you knew he was going to be in the lineup, so you had him in the flex at the minimum, and your opponent did not.
I'm a believer. That resonated with me as someone in high school when we would do our Madden tournaments, and I was one of the worst of our crew, and I would run out the play clock every single snap because I knew I had to reduce the variance and limit the amount of plays my opponent had. Everyone hated me, but I think I was making a plus EV move in those tournaments.
That's smart. I mean, that was probably your first and last Madden tournament, but that might be actually the meta game in Madden right now is like running the ball every single snap. That's not that far off, and just kneeling and trying to force the other team to like get into punt position so you can run a fake punt for a touchdown or something.
Mina has responded, and this is going to be something that gets screenshotted. And people, whenever you say a crazy take, Bill, for the rest of your life, people will post a screenshot of you saying, "Bill, where is this coming from?"
That's fine.
Okay, we are on the clock. I think we get to pick whoever we want because you did convince me.
Well, we were going to take Davis Mills. Instead, I think we should take Tyrod Taylor.
Oh my God, you want to go with a 3 quarterback build? Okay.
At least 3 quarterbacks. I'm open to a 4th quarterback because, again, we have to make sure we're going to have a quarterback for all 17 weeks here. Alex Smith, I don't know if he's going to play this year. I'm not 100% sure. So,
right, because I think, we talk about this a lot in our season-long drafts. You can take big swings on quarterbacks in the middle rounds because quarterback is so deep. We took our swings on Trubisky and Smith, but now we need to give ourselves some kind of floor for week 1.
Exactly. And Tyrod, we know, is a week 1 quarterback. We don't know if he's a week 2 quarterback.
That's true.
Opposite's true. Mitch might not be a week 1 quarterback. He might be a week 2 quarterback. So I think it's smart for us here. Again, we're all set with running backs. We're not taking a 5th running back unless we have to. So to me, I think possibly a 4-4-10-1 build or a 4-4-9-1 build is something I'm open to right now.
Yeah, and I believe too, like the way I know we're going to get a lot of hate for the Trubisky pick, but it's an anti-fragile pick. We know the chaos of the season, how Josh Allen plays. He likes taking off and run. Like he might get injured. And if he does, we're going to be there to capitalize in this 12-man league where the top prize is, I believe, $35. So we will be able to capitalize.
Think about the leverage on the field we have by drafting Mitch Trubisky. What do people always say? Draft as if you are right.
I've heard that before. Go off, King. Go off.
What if Josh Allen loses the job moments into his massive contract extension? If we're right, we're so far ahead of the field.
And haven't we seen too? I mean, what is the old thing? Like once these guys get the bag, then they stop performing because they're just cashing checks. What if Josh Allen just decides he doesn't want to play hard anymore? Mitch Trubisky is there waiting in the wings. You now get to select whoever you want because we just successfully bullshitted about how Mitch Trubisky was actually a good pick for 3 minutes. Hopefully let's see if anyone has told Mina what is going on. Rob spoiled it. And I do agree with Dr. Evil here. I would love to get Mina on the randomizer draft. Maybe this is the gateway we need to onboard Mina into these streets as well.
There's a lot of people who ask me to do something so they can eventually hopefully get Mina to do something.
Bill, that was not my angle.
In the history of my career, like it was like Shea Serrano at first, like I'll be friends with Bill so I can get Shay to do something. Now it's Mina. Eventually it'll be somebody. Maybe it'll be you eventually. Maybe people will go through me to get to you as a thought leader and an influencer.
I think I'm having such a deja vu, but I want to say when I did the show with Danny Kelly last year, this same conversation happened where he said that some people ask him to do stuff to get access to Mina. And I was having the weirdest deja vu. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was the show with Danny.
That checks out. And I mean, there might be people who go to me to get to Danny. Like I'm low on that totem pole. Danny's great.
Danny, what else in your fantasy repertoire? You mentioned you play Dynasty. You're playing best ball. Do you do any of the high stakes season long stuff?
I do not. I just did FFPC best ball last year. I have not done any actual high stakes long-term leagues.
Yeah.
I would be, oh boy. Yes. Oh, I love the count.
Did you see it?
Conflict. No, what is the most recent counselor tweet? Am I going to get fired for retweeting it?
You're going to have to make this call. I retweeted it. It's from only 2 hours ago.
Oh no, I can't.
Men need to be men again. Too many beta cucks out there. Hashtag beta, hashtag alpha male, hashtag strongman, hashtag NFL, hashtag alpha, hashtag fantasy football.
Is it possible that the counselor is simultaneously in a different randomizer draft and was forced to tweet this?
What's so funny too is you go look at his profile. He has just like an auto post, I think, for his YouTube stuff generally. Sure. So it's all like he never does tweets. Like it's all
no.
So he came out of nowhere. He got so riled up by something that he had to come in here and talk about this. I feel like this was directed at all of us Zero RB beta boys.
Oh my God. I have not checked his Instagram recently. Has he actually had his fight with Le'Veon Bell yet?
He has not. He continues to chirp at him. He had a really good one tweet this morning or Instagram story that I want to pull up. I had posted it in the Discord. Let's see if I can find it here. It was going after DJ Moore. So this was the post. It says, someone asked him thoughts on DJ Moore. He said, he sucks. What has he done? Last year, all the sheep drafted him round 3. He busted. Anderson is the wide receiver 1 on that team. Moore is a trash player.
I mean, that checks out. Like, I don't say I wouldn't see what the beef is there. Like, that seems like a very reasonable take to put out there.
Okay. So are we going to take Mike Boone here?
I love Mike Boone. So I absolutely want to take Mike Boone.
I kind of like Mike Boone too.
I don't want to just, parrot Adam Levitan opinions, but I feel like Mike Boone has been great when he's had the opportunity to play.
The funny thing is I do want to imagine this world where Counselor sees you retweet this with your almost 200,000 followers. And it's just through the moon. Like, you know what? I've had it out for some of those ESPN concheapsis, but this Bill Barnwell guy, he seems good.
Not a sheep. Not a sheep. I hope next year I can be part of the 16-round draft guide.
That's right, man. I hate that both of us know what the 16-round draft guide is.
Like, he is very good at what he does. I think he is better at what he does than I am at what I do.
Okay, I completely missed this. Woman's just sniped us on Mike Boone. I just assumed he would time out to us, and we took Ronald Jones.
That seems on brand.
It does seem on brand. All right, woman.
We need to go again, though, don't we?
We are going to need to go again. I'm just so shook because I was ready to welcome Mike Boone to the squad.
That hurts.
It does really hurt, woman.
I do love Mike Boone.
Okay, Bill can take whoever he wants if provided he can list off their contract from memory.
Can I see the queue?
Yeah, Connor Brady. Do you know Brady's
Tom
contract?
Brady's 1 year, $25 million.
Ooh, baby, within 1 second, you are good.
Let me double check if I'm right. I'm like 90% sure. Tom Brady's 1 year, $25 million guaranteed.
Wow.
QB4?
QB4. Yes. We're going to add him. No, how did we time out and get James Conner? What is going on with the queue today?
Josh Norris.
I put him in the queue. What is going on? We're going to roll back the tape on this one. They're conspiring.
Do you think this was the counselor interfering with our board?
They're saying this is actually a good thing. I have my auto draft limits on, I think.
Oh no.
I think I need to go into my account and change my limits.
Okay, so your limits are 3 quarterbacks, but 6 running backs are okay. 4 quarterbacks not okay. 6 RBs just fine.
Where even is the limits, guys? Someone tell me. I remember changing this a while ago.
It seems like it should be in responsible gaming, but it's not.
Whatever.
I think it's in rankings, if I'm not mistaken.
Rankings. Let's see. Limits. Yes, good call. All right. I gotta boost it.
This does open the opportunity for you in Vegas to have a 5.
I was just gonna say I shouldn't be changing this right before I go to Vegas.
You are going to be on the floor at the El Cortez, crying, drunk, happy, and then realize that you've actually drafted Mitchell Trubisky as part of 7 different best ball teams.
And now we're in another trouble because I have to try to find this team.
If only there was an ability to name the draft on Underdog.
I should have named it. There it is. 12-person draft. I do need to start getting in here and naming these randomizers. You know what? We're going to do this right now. The Bill Barnwell randomizer. That wasn't very inspired, but I'm not very creative right now.
Well, I mean, look at our roster construction.
It isn't. Wait, I'm not in the right room.
This is a different 12-person team.
Oh God, I would have to rename that. Where is this draft?
This has happened in randomizer history before. You've lost the draft.
The draft is lost to the sands of time. Is it really not this one? No,
I don't think it is.
Oh, I started that one last night. Guys, here it is. Thank God.
You did a random 12-person draft last night.
It's not at the top. It's at the very bottom, in the middle of a million puppy drafts.
I appreciate that Tom Brady's still out there for us.
He is. All right, Underdog, I'm making an official UI request here. There's a third category for on the clock and upcoming live. Need a tab for live fast drafts. That was scary. I was worried we were just going to get locked out. Like, I thought we were in like a Murakami novel and like the door shut behind us. And then we were in this new world. Whew. Okay. We're okay.
Again, I think that's part of the 16-round guide is just start doing a different draft halfway through. It's frustrating because I did get the contract to the dollar.
I was very impressed. Oh, I wanted to ask you, let's see what this prompt is here first. Oh, another one from Norris. Pete must guess how many hours Bill has clocked in Football Manager, divide the difference in the answer by 2, and pick the player that's far down the board. Why don't you tell people, because I honestly am not that familiar with Football Manager. What is it?
Football Manager is like a very nerdy soccer management game. It's like a game where you don't get to see the actual players playing. Like, like if you played FIFA, for example, you'd actually be able to control the players. None of that is happening. You're just picking the players, you're picking their contracts, you're signing new players. It's just like the management of the team.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, I understand it does not sound very enthralling. People are obsessed with this football game who have played it. Like, it has ruined marriages. There's been like actual documented divorces around this game. The problem is, if I look here, it's loading up now.
It shows you on there the hours?
It does on Steam show you how many hours you played, but I've played other versions of this game. So this is just for the Football Manager version that I'm playing, which is 2011, a decade ago. I believe it is.
Well, I have to guess.
Yeah. So please go ahead.
All right. You said since 2011, it sounds like you've done this a decent amount, but I want to say like fantasy might have kind of replaced some of this itch for
Yes,
you
fair.
more recently. I'll say it says you've been on there 84 hours.
Oh no, it's 2,420 hours.
What?
That's not that many for a decade, to be fair.
That's a shit ton of
That's
hours.
only 6 days worth of Football Manager.
No. 6 days? You said 2,000.
Yeah, hours. No, 2024. That's 100 days. Excuse me.
That's what I am saying. 100 days is an absurd amount of time. Who do we have to take? Someone like at the very bottom.
Tebow?
I just took Marcus Johnson.
Oh,
If this doesn't work, okay.
Well, we are adding receivers to the roster.
Hey, got Bill. I
Yes.
feel like you were in denial about how much time you spent on there. You wanted to make it that it was like 6 days, 100 days.
Sure, but you can do other things while you're playing the game.
Okay, all right.
Like it's just a window.
I guess if you told me how many hours I've spent on Underdog, it would be pretty similar. Okay, So this was the prompt. He wanted it. The people want to know Bill Barnwell's Underdog username that may or may not be getting changed to Mattress Influencer here soon.
Influencer. My Underdog username is No Odd Job. Why did I pick this? I have absolutely no idea. I wasn't watching something related to the N64 game GoldenEye, which I am a fan of, but not like a hardcore fan of. I have not like it wasn't like it was like related. It wasn't contextual. I just was like just staring at the prompt, just confused and didn't know what to do. And so I just put No Odd Job. It reads, unfortunately, like New Job, which
That's how I read it in my head.
Which is not what I want it to be. So I'm not a big fan of it. So, but we don't have to take Andy Dalton. I'd love to change it, but that's what it is.
We're gonna work. I'm gonna throw.
We got 10 seconds.
Influence. Yeah, who do you want here?
Wide receiver of any kind. The first wide receiver you see. Let's go Kadarius Toney. We just talked about him.
Let's see if I got it in time. I did. Look at this. This is back-to-back streams. Josh Norris hopped on our ship chasing stream last night, made an impassioned case for Kadarius Toney. We took him in the late round of a draft. And then you come on here. I've never gotten so much pro Kadarius Toney takes in such a short period of time.
If I had just said Dave Gettleman was smart to take Kadarius Toney, I could have killed two birds with one stone.
That you're right. That we're just starting to get very efficient with our prompts here.
So we're narrowing it down here to the final few rounds. We have our construction. What do you think we have to do to finish off this team?
Yeah, I mean, I love what we've done. I think this is a very logical construction. 3 QBs, definitely a position you want to be robust at. I mean, running back. I dare Denny Carter, come look at our running backs, and I dare you to tell me you're worried about our running backs. You cannot be worried.
No, if we did one of those like rate your team things on Football Guys, they'd be like, your running back 6 is an excellent running back 6.
Exactly. And then we look at our wide receivers, and yeah, did we wait? But we've shot for the moon. We have the new advanced air yards king, Rashad Penny. We're not worried about Elijah Moore's injury. Daz Newsome, Marcus Johnson, who I clicked randomly in a fit of fury. And then Darren Waller to anchor the tight end. I mean, I think we just hammer a few more wide receivers, and this team is like, 18% win rate expectation in this league.
What's the win rate for hero tight ends?
It's high. It supercharges your win rates.
Super high. We have 2 number 1 receivers in Moore and Perriman, maybe a third in Toney. That room is up for grabs after the Kenny Golladay injury. I mean, there's definitely some significant upside here.
It is. It's an unorthodox team, but what do we say? We like to flip the build. A lot of these sheep constructing their teams in the same way. They're little 0 RB, they're hero RB, they're hyper fragile. We flipped the build today.
Yeah, we went robust QB RB.
Exactly. All right, we do have 3 more picks here.
Okay.
We still got some more prompts on the wheel. You have been doxxed. You can no longer hide between handcuffing the Raiders backfield in your drafts.
Simple. Okay, that's good. Pick the player left with the highest speed score. Do you know what speed score is?
Is it just like height times 40 time, basically?
Pretty much it's weight times 40 time.
Weight times 40
It's something I created when I was sitting at work in the Fox Interactive Media building, working for IGN, the video game website. I don't know. I remember literally where I was sitting as I was doing the research. I don't think it's very good or helpful, but if we want a guy who's fast and big, it'll work out great for us. The problem is I haven't looked at it in like 6 or 7 years. I don't know who is actually fast and big anymore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we eyeball it a little bit.
It's only running backs though.
Oh, it's only okay. Gotcha.
Only RBs, and I feel like a lot of the guys who are left are like kind of smaller.
Wait, is it Rashad Penny? Like Rashad Penny's a speed score guy, right?
I don't know. I mean, I think Darrington Evans would be a speed score guy, maybe. Big, kind of fast. Oh, that works. Rashad Penny running a 4.46. For some reason, on the Chargers website
or Seahawks.
No, he's on the Seahawks, but it was like that link, the top link was on the Chargers website for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting a 4.49 at somewhere between 220 to 235, I mean that's a nice speed score right there.
I think we're all set with Rashad Penny.
Who was the kind of like all-time speed score king? Is this like the kind of like DeMarco Murray type like?
This was when I first started. It was like Chris Johnson. It was very high on Chris Johnson that year in that like big draft class of running backs. Like it was. I don't think it was very high on Felix Jones, which worked out well. I think it was high on Darren McFadden, which kind of in between. Yeah. But it loved Chris Johnson. It loved Brandon Jacobs, like as a mid-round pick. Like it's like 1% better than just using 40 time, but that 1% still helps.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Woman's is a sniper, so she might try to do the same thing again and take our guy.
I would guess that Darrington Evans would qualify.
How much? For some reason in my head, like because of the Alvin Kamara comps, I thought he was smaller, but I guess Alvin Kamara is kind of big for his size too.
Oh, he's 203, so he's actually not that big.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Can you show me the rest of the list?
Yeah. Let's see here. Matt Breida. He's
Matt
fast.
Breida is fast. Is he?
Yeah.
Breida weighs 195. That's not big enough.
Wow. What's Larry? Who?
Todd Gurley, maybe.
Oh, we did. We snuck it through. We got Penny here. We did add our 7th running back.
Todd Gurley would have been good at 224.
Okay, that is a good call.
If we get the same prompt again, we'll fall back on that.
We could always go right back to it. Let's see which one is this going to be on the fringe. All right, Josh Norris coming through with the prompts.
Three Josh Norris in a row.
I know. He's a legend. In remembrance of Bill's feature, Momentum Part 1, released 8 years ago. Mature, well-seasoned Bill must now make the case for why momentum actually does exist. If he succeeds, we draft whoever we want. If we refuse, we have to draft a Dan Campbell Lion. What is your choice?
This is so easy. Josh Norris has had 3 straight prompts show up. He has the momentum for the prompts popping up. Problem solved.
Exactly. That is the thing. There is no way on just pure randomness, the fact that he submitted 5 or 6 prompts on 18 spins, some of them might have been weighted on the wheel to show up more frequently than others. It doesn't matter. No. I think this proves momentum exists.
I absolutely agree. It's so simple.
Let's see here. Oh, we got Ben Gretsch coming in the chat to Mario Fannin as a speed score.
Was a speed score guy. I think he tore his Achilles twice, maybe.
Yeah. I'm going to say you convinced me. You get to pick a wide receiver you like here from this list.
I will pick Adam Humphries. Again, I know that we're going for ceiling here. It's also nice to have a floor.
I would say based on this crew, we do need a floor because the floor does not exist right now.
Oh, you know what though? Should we have stacked? Well, Alex Smith is technically most recently a Washington quarterback, so maybe he would
returns
to go back
team.
Yeah,
and it's not like Fitzpatrick is a picture of health.
I don't want to say anything. I mean, he's in his late 30s. I know I'm in my late 30s. I'm falling apart, so I feel like Fitz probably in the same boat.
So Josh is curious. You did mention you on Football Manager while working at IGN. Sure. Tell the people what young Bill was like.
He was living in San Francisco. He was making very little money and could not afford to pay his rent. So he was basically, I don't want to say committing expense fraud, but my expenses were usually more than my income for the month based on the traveling for my job. So there's a lot of getting the expense check and using that to pay rent and then kind of hoping eventually it would resolve itself and I would have money at the end of it. That happened a lot. There were a lot of weeks where I would eat like 6 burritos for dinner a week because I was living in the Mission District, and having like a $4.99 dinner was probably the way for me to go. And a lot of me not hanging out with the people I worked with because they didn't like sports. So it was really those 3 things pretty much that year in 2008. Also, we were in the same building as MySpace. And MySpace, this was like peak MySpace, like riding high on the hog MySpace. So that was a very fun experience to be around people who had a lot of money to work with and did not know what they were doing, and see what happened with them in the next.
So you were living in like a prequel to the TV show Silicon Valley, basically.
That is exactly what I was doing. Yes.
Yeah. Jonathan, also following up on Football Manager, wants to know what club you played with.
I play with all kinds of clubs, man. I got 24,100 hours in the game. Like I played with like right now I'm playing with the Danish club Brøndby. I don't know anything about them. I don't know where they are in Denmark. I have taken them to the Champions League final. I think, won the Champions League final with them. They are one of the biggest clubs in Europe at this point, even though they are like a 14,000 seat stadium. I could talk about this literally all day, so I'm going to stop here.
No, it sounds like the people would enjoy it. And Josh wants some game reviews. He's saying PS2 era.
So I asked to review Madden. And I was a football writer at the time, and they said, no, we don't trust you to review Madden. So that one, I understand. I'm not qualified to talk about Madden. I think the only game I actually reviewed was a game called All-Star Cheer Squad for the Wii, because that was the only game they would trust me to review, like a D-list game. So there's probably a video of me reviewing All-Star Cheer Squad somewhere out there.
I just wanted to check out what this thing. Look at this game.
Mm-hmm.
You were ahead of your time, because then the show Cheer on Netflix became such a smash hit.
Yeah, it did. And then I bought a cameo from Jerry, and he turned out to be a monster creep.
My God, yes. I was just talking with my wife the other day about how awful that was.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like the most likable character on this show, and then you find out he's a monster.
Terrible. America's sweetheart to America's nightmare.
Wow. Well, that really definitely changed the tide of this. Let's get back to our final spin on the field. FF Doom wants to know if you have any interactions with MySpace Tom.
He's a friend of mine, but I never actually met MySpace Tom. I did have Rupert Murdoch come into the building once because he owned both of the companies, and we were instructed not to make eye contact with Rupert Murdoch or we would be fired.
And now that sounds like you were living in a plot of Succession.
Yes, that is a Succession level of rich. Is you are fired if you make eye contact with this person. He had security blocking him from people making eye contact with him. Although someone at my company played Wii Tennis with Rupert Murdoch, which I would have paid $5,000 to do it at film.
And also can't make eye contact while
He
playing.
He
got permission.
I was not. I was a low-level employee. I was not allowed to.
All right. The final prompt. We're going to flex on your soccer knowledge here. List the last 6 World Cup winners in order. If you get one wrong, draft Carson Wentz.
Oh, we could use Carson Wentz, though. Okay, so France. Do you have the answers here?
Yeah, I just pulled it up, so I'm going to be able to fact check you here.
France is 2020 or 2018.
2018, yeah.
Germany was 2014.
Yep.
Here's where it gets hazy. Spain.
Yep.
Italy.
Yep, that was the Zidane game.
The headbutt.
Yep.
Brazil.
Yep. You got 5.
France.
You nailed it.
Yes.
1998, France on their home field took it down. Look at that. I mean, maybe your prize is just selecting Carson Wentz. Like you were going to take him either way.
I think we should at least have one stack. Should we stack a running back in honor of my Raiders team?
Ooh, I like that. To get us to 8 running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, that could work. Let's see here. Who would be you want to go Eno Benjamin with James Conner?
I have no Eno Benjamin share, so that works out super well.
I mean, Eno Benjamin might be a thing this year. If one of those guys go down, Eno's going to be a thing.
Eno Saris is my friend who writes for The Athletic about baseball. I would be sad if he was not the most famous Eno. With the first name Eno.
So you are rooting again. I mean, I feel like Brian Eno is going to be a tough one to surpass.
But that's last name though.
Okay, first name Eno.
First name Enos.
It is a very unique name. Unique first name.
Was Eno Benjamin named after Brian Eno?
That's a really good question. Eno, if you're listening, that should be the next. Bill must tweet at Eno Benjamin. Were you named after Brian Eno?
Is he on Twitter?
I know.
He
You
is.
know who's? Is he? Okay. Well, you know who else is now super active on Twitter that we mentioned earlier is Darrington Evans. He's like making content, wanting to do collabs. He's in those streets.
Do you think he will collab with the counselor?
That would be an interesting one. The counselor's takes are so weird because he loves like young players. He loves rookies. He loves running backs, but he hates backfields where there's any ambiguity.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hates Nick Chubb because of Kareem Hunt, which I mean, I guess not the worst take, but I am fascinated what he will do with Derrick. I think Derrick Henry's still one of his guys. I think he would hate Darrington Evans.
I feel like he's already created the Photoshops with Derrick Henry, so he might as well just lean into them and just stick with it over the course of the year.
Let's wrap up here with a final. You kind of already did a little bit of a review here, but we do end up with the 3-8-6-1. Let us know how you're feeling about it. I mean, we're really raw dogging it at tight end, Bill.
I mean, again, no reason to think Darren Waller is going to miss any time. 2 healthy seasons, back-to-back, impact player. Again, with a hero RB or hero tight end, you don't want to invest much more draft capital at tight end. So again, we're going to draft as if we're right. Darren Waller is going to be our tight end all 17 weeks.
Yeah, Josh is giving us credit for our bye weeks. I will say we really spread out the bye week exposure. I am a little worried about week 9. You know, when we have Rashad Penny and Ronald Jones, that could hurt. But week 10, Daz and Kadarius on the same bye. But for the most part, I think we really gave an olive branch to bye week Twitter. Yeah,
and I mean, look at the quarterbacks up here. I mean, we have, a wide range there. Alex Smith doesn't even have a bye.
That's right.
That's next level.
Yeah, you guys are worrying about the buys. How about you expand your mind and draft a guy without a bye week, man?
Exactly.
Bill Barnwell, we're looking forward to the most improved column where I apparently couldn't guess a single team that is going to be featured on there. Who did I get?
Yeah, got Jags.
The Jags. Well, the chat helped me out with that one.
That's fine.
Anything else you would like to plug other than going to amend your relationship with Mina?
I think Mina will be okay. I will plug my own podcast, the Bill Barnwell podcast, Bill Barnwell Show, the Barnwell podcast, one of those two. I was just on the Athletic Football Show with Robert Mays, who I used to podcast with. I'd recommend that. And please don't cite my stacks on Underdog now that you know my username.
There you guys go. The official, please don't dupe me, bro. Please don't cite me, bro. Bill, awesome guest. Looking forward to reading and listening to all of your work this year. Even if you don't self-identify as a journalist, you are, and you are a good one. This has been a ton of fun, guys. Grab your randomizer boxes so you can be like Bill and I and have shots of Diet Pepsi and tequila on a Thursday afternoon here. I am going to be in Vegas this week, timing out for drafts for Club Top Shot and Summer League. We will be back next week. Probably won't have shows Monday because I will be in Vegas, but we'll get back to the usual stuff. So for Bill, thank you to Underdog. I'm Pete. We'll see you guys next time.